Yo, what's good? We're back here, top stacks video. Week 3 top stacks. Are we really, do I really have to keep you waiting? I mean, you all know who we're going to talk about already. It's who I've been talking about in every single one of my videos, all week. So, yeah, we know who we're going to get to. But before I do, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on notification bell. All those things just take one click. It's all free, all helps me out, helps me grow. So, make sure to leave that, help me out with all that stuff. If you want to get some more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon for only $10 a month. You are going to get weekly articles for every single position, along with rankings for cash and GPP, along with my injury notes, so you're going to what to do, what not to do on Sunday when players get ruled in or out. You're also going to get articles for all 3 showdown slates: Thursday night, Monday night, and Sunday night football, and all my top stack rankings. So be sure to go check all that out. But here we are. We're going to talk about my 5 favorite stacks of the week. And we'll start out with Josh Allen. Buffalo Bills going against the LA Rams. And I don't think this is going to be a stack that a lot of people have been talking about enough. Just because, everyone's just been talking about the next 2 games we're going to talk about. And for good reason. Those are going to be games that are going to shoot out and be super high scoring. But this game could be too. We've seen the Rams be a team that has allowed points scored on them this year. We saw Dallas put up points. Even Philly, who's just bad, put up some decent amount of points on the Rams. So now you get Josh Allen, whose offense has looked really, really good coming in here. And I want to keep reiterating it. The Rams defense has 2 elite players. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, elite. But the rest of it's not that good, at all. They're a defense I'm never scared to put players against. Even Miles Sanders had a great game on the ground last week against Aaron Donald. So, I'm not too scared to play players against them. It's a pretty high total game on the slate. Not one of the highest, at 47 right now. So, not a super high total, but it's a pretty high total on the slate. We go look at the matchups for these guys. You have Josh Allen, the offensive line versus defensive line. It's going to be slightly negative, but not anything I'm worried about. It's barely negative, 0.4% negative. I'm not too worried about that. Then you got Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Cole Beasley. They're going to be going against Jalen Ramsey, who, yeah, that's tough. But then you got Darius Williams and Troy Hill. They're not bad. It's going to be a positive matchup for those guys. Then we go look at the tight end. Dawson Knox isn't really utilized, so we don't really ever worry about that too much. And then Taylor Rapp and John Johnson are safeties, and that's a positive matchup. So overall, it's going to be a positive matchup for Josh Allen. I think this is a game, I don't know if it's going to shoot out, but I think it could be very high scoring. And we've seen the Josh Allen, John Brown, Stephon Diggs connection work very well so far this year. So definitely someone I'm definitely going to this Josh Allen Buffalo Bills stack. But enough talking about that. We know the stacks y'all want to hear about. Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks. Everyone's stacking this game. Everyone's going to stack it, and you can't really get away from it. You have to stack this game this week, honestly, in tournaments. Both sides, Dak and Russell Wilson. We'll talk about both right now. You just got to find ways to get different with the rest of your players, and that's what all the other videos are for. But this stack, it's great, man. You have Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. That's it. I don't need anybody else. I don't need David Moore. I don't need Greg Olsen. I don't need Will Dissly. If you want to throw Chris Carson, I think that one's okay, but just Russell to DK, Russell to Lockett, Russell to both. That's what I go to for the most part. I'll probably throw a Chris Carson stack in there once, maybe twice in a lineup, but for the most part, it's just going to be those guys, and then you just run it back with this Dallas defense. We've seen the Seattle team has been shootouts week 1 and 2. Week 1, Atlanta. Shootout, super high scoring. Week 2, New England, absolutely shootout game, a ton of scoring, best game of the year, honestly, so far, in my opinion. What a great game that was just to watch, and I think this is going to be just like that. These 2 teams' defenses are not good. The Seattle Seahawks defensive line cannot put enough pressure on the quarterback. So the quarterbacks are pretty much able to throw all over them. Even though their secondary is really not that bad, they can still throw all over them. Dallas Cowboys, their whole defense sucks, so you're just throwing all over them, and that's why I love going to Russell Wilson this week. It's just not a good defense. It's not a good defense. One great to target in DFS, and I love going Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf stacks, running them back with Lamb, Gallup, Zeke, Amari Cooper. Those are the 4. So I love going there. And then on the other side, we got Dallas. We have Dak Prescott going against the Seattle defense. It's a good matchup for him. He gets to target Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott. If you want to throw Dalton Schultz in there, I wouldn't do Dak just to Dalton Schultz, but if you're going Dak and Amari, and you have a tight end, you're like, maybe let's throw in Dalton Schultz in that lineup. He had 10 targets last week. He gets you a touchdown. It's not bad. I don't hate going there. In this game, though, I will say Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're getting all the ownership. They're going to have be very, very highly owned. So CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup aren't going to get a ton. So these are the guys who I think it's kind of good to leverage. Michael Gallup, yeah, he hasn't been great the first 2 weeks, but he's still a very good deep threat. He can still score. We know the talent he has. And CeeDee Lamb, oh my God, this guy's going to be a star. He's going to be better than Amari Cooper. I'm calling it right now. Not this year, but down the road, he's going to be the best wide receiver on this team, and their offense looks scary for a long time if they can re-sign Dak. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb's going to be lower owned, only $5,400. Saw, I think, 8-9 targets last week, so he's going to be very involved. Definitely someone I want to get some ownership to with some stacks. I think the really low owned thing that's going to be is running it back from the Seattle side of these guys. Because I think people will stack Dak and CD and Gallup, but I think when people are running the stacks with Russ to Lockett and Metcalf, they're going to run it back with Zeke or Amari Cooper. They're not going to run it back with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and I think that's where you're going to be able to get some leverage in this game. So definitely a spot that I want to attack at. I definitely love this game for tournaments, as does everybody, but I think this is a spot to definitely go to. And then we're going to go to Stafford and Kyler Murray in the other game that's just, going to be a shootout. Stafford, he's got Kenny Golladay coming back from injury. Marvin Jones is here. And then you got TJ Hawkinson, the tight end. I'm going out on a limb and saying this is going to be Marvin Jones' week this week. We know he has these games every year. He just goes absolutely nuclear, 4 or 5 touchdowns, and he just blows up the slate. This is the week because here's why. Kenny Golladay is coming back, so people are saying, oh, Marvin Jones is probably going to lose some targets, which is not true, first of all. He's still going to get his, and they're going to be like, Kenny Galladay's back, he's going to get all the targets, it's not going to be as much for Marvin Jones. Well, let's take a pause on that, because last year, when Kenny Golladay put up like 4 touchdowns against, I think it wasn't the Giants, I think it was the Vikings he put up 4 against. Kenny Golladay was there, because I remember, I played Kenny Golladay on Draftkings a ton that week, and Marvin Jones had 4 touchdowns, and I was sitting there pissed. Looking like an idiot. But that's not going to happen this year. I'm playing Marvin Jones this week. This is a matchup that's great. The Arizona secondary is not good. Their pass rush is not good. It is a great matchup. Yeah, wide receivers haven't torched them that much, but in week 1, they played 49ers who run the hell out of the ball, and they throw to George Kittle. They're not throwing up Brandon Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne a ton. Those aren't their guys. Last week you get washed, it just sucks. And McLaurin had a pretty solid game, honestly. I think he had a touchdown. He put up a good bit of fantasy points, so they're not good. Patrick Peterson's still there, but he ain't Patrick Peterson anymore. This isn't what the Patrick Peterson shutdown corner we saw a decade ago. So I definitely like going there. This is a stack I love. I love going Stafford and Golladay. I love going Stafford and Jones. I love going both. I love going Stafford and Golladay and TJ Hawkinson. I love going Stafford and Jones and TJ Hawkinson. Then you got to run it back with my boy Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. Those are your guys on the other side you got to look at. This is going to be a game where I think there's going to be a ton of scoring, and it's going to be slightly lower owned than the Seattle game, because everyone's talking about the Seattle game. But people are talking about this game too a ton, but just nowhere near as much. So this is going to be a game I definitely want to target, and I think the Stafford stack out of these 4 that are like really popular is going to be the lowest owned one, and especially like Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones, right in the last ownership projections I looked at, 3% ownership. So at 3% ownership, he can blow up. No one's going to be on him this week, and this is the week where he's got the beautiful matchup. Like the first 2 weeks, Marvin Jones, we had going against Jair Alexander, who's been PFF's highest graded corner throughout 2 weeks this year, and then week 1, Chicago, when he had Kyle Fuller and Jalen Johnson, and it's just a tough matchup overall. So this could be Marvin Jones week, guys. I would be worried about that one. So definitely want to go to this stack in tournaments. And then Kyler Murray on the other side. Look, Kyler Murray putting up MVP numbers to start the season. He's putting himself in the MVP conversation. DeAndre Hopkins already started a campaign for it. DK Metcalf started it out for Russell Wilson. So which one's scoring more points? Which one's going off more this week? We're going to find out. Kyler Murray could throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins a ton. Christian Kirk, I think, is such a good matchup that he hasn't been utilized that much. And then Kenyon Drake gets some passing usage. Only 2 targets last 2 weeks, but we've seen last year that Kenyon Drake had a lot more usage in that offense than just running the ball. So I definitely like going there. I think that's a very, very good spot to look at, to target. And then Dan Arnold, the tight end, is going to be the sneaky one this week. I think he's going to be a spot where not a lot of people are going to be on him. But I wouldn't play him by himself, but in stacks, if you're going to Kyler, DeAndre Hopkins, throw in Dan Arnold in here or there. It's only 2,800. He can allow you so many other top plays. If Dan Arnold gets you 15 points, he's going to be beautiful. And I know 15's a lot for Dan Arnold, but he gets a touchdown, gets like a 15-yard touchdown, then gets just a few more catches here and there. He's gonna get there. So yeah, Dan Arnold, I would not hate throwing him in those Kyler stacks. But yeah, I think that's really all I gotta say on the top stacks. It's a short video. I'll have all my top stack rankings are in the Patreon if you want to go sub to that, of course. But I think that's really all I got to say in this one. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Make sure to leave that like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment how you thought the video was. Who do you think is going to be the top stack? If it's not one of these, who do you think is the top stack? Because I think there's some other good options. I think Joe Burrow could be the top stack. I think Carson Wentz could be the top stack. There's some other stacks that I like. Who do you like? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to have any questions. Make sure to let me know. I'll answer them. If you want to follow me on Twitter as well, I'll put that in the description below. I always answer questions over there. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Watch some football and one of these top stacks. It's going to take down someone in the tournament. I can feel it. Thank you guys.